I knew I needed some kind of stability, especially because my wife has been an education all her life. She's received a paycheck every 2 weeks.
So she's very used to like the traditional way of
Yeah. So when I told her I wanted to be a real estate agent, we had to have some, difficult conversations, and, I had to convince her that this was the right move for me. But now she trusts the process, and she's seen everything that we've built in the past year. So
that's good.
She's very supportive.
Welcome back to the podcast. If you are ready to ignite your real estate investing, then join us on Investors Unite.
Perfect.
And today we have a very special guest, Kris Quintana.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, sir.
We're excited to have you.
Oh, I'm excited.
Absolutely. Kris is a very cool guy. I met pretty recently, I want to say about a month ago or so.
Yep.
So you have like your own kind of niche real estate investing ish kind of situation, which we're going to dive into. I know it sounds
real
really
estate
confusing.
Leverage. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So basically helping out other agents with their business. And I don't know if you do any of your own investing. Do you?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Will you someday?
Potentially.
Okay.
All right, cool. When we talk about that, see what's going on there. But without further ado, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So if you want to tell us a little bit about your backstory, I know you were a Coast Guard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then got into real estate.
Yeah. So right out of high school, I joined the Coast Guard. Did a lot of missions down there in the Caribbean, counter narcotics, alien immigration and interdiction. We helped out in Katrina because that's when I first joined, was in 2005.
Okay.
So we did a little work down there.
That's really cool. I was scrolling through Facebook this morning, just looking at all the pictures. I was like, this is dope, dude.
Yeah, and then we did a lot of search and rescue. So was our primary mission down there. But yeah, it was good times. And then
How long were you in that for?
So I did that for 4 years. I did some down in the Caribbean, and then I left and went to Delaware. And so my last station was at Indian River Inlet in Delaware. So Rehoboth Bay, Indian River Bay, stuff like that. So
Very cool. So from there, did you go directly into real estate, or did you have some other stuff in the middle?
no, so coming out of high school, I kind of always thought that I was going to do film and some kind of mass communications.
Sure.
And so when I got into the Coast Guard, I had like a change of heart. I went to Haiti one time, and I saw kids running through the street, like glass, like gravel, all types of stuff. And they're all running to this one building, and the building happened to be like a school building. And so like we visited, we didn't have much time, but, went over there, and it kind of inspired me to want to work with kids. And so, but I'm not great at math. I don't really like science. So I got my social studies teaching degree at Salisbury University on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So
nice.
And then worked in education for a total of 9 years.
You've done a lot.
Yeah. And so I did that for 9 years, and then it just financially, I was looking for some more freedom.
Yeah.
And so I did real estate, got my real estate license. So this is my 3rd year of doing real estate. My first year, I really hit the ground running.
So you've done a lot in that short amount of time.
Yeah. And I didn't, the hustle for real estate wasn't there for me as far as like grinding day in, day out. I knew that I wanted to be in real estate. I just didn't think that was the capacity that I wanted to be in.
Sure.
Was there a specific reason? Just like the time and being...
Well, part of it, the time actually wasn't that bad, because when I got my first year in real estate, you could literally just stick a sign in the yard, and you'd have
2021. Is that when you
got or 22. So you could stick a sign in the yard, and then everybody and their mom would come to your house, and they throw $50,000 over asking.
Yeah.
It's not like that now.
Much simpler times.
But so I just didn't have the motivation in me to like wake up every day and cold call, lead gen, things like that. And on top of that, like I'm not from central Pennsylvania.
So you didn't have that sphere to go
I don't have that sphere to go off of, where a lot of other agents do.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
So originally I'm from New York. I was born in Manhattan. My mom's side is from South Bronx, and my dad's side's from Harlem. So
It's completely different.
I don't
Such
even
a-
think
yeah.
you have the accent.
well, I
It's
don't
surprising.
because we've moved around so much.
Yeah.
So my dad was in the Army for 22 years.
Okay.
And so I've lived up and down the East Coast and in
just
a
bouncing
couple of
around.
other countries. Yeah. So like Germany, we lived in for a while. And then
That's so cool.
he went to Korea. We stayed here when he went to Korea. But
Did you learn any German while you were there?
no. I was real small. And like snow back then was way different than what it is in Pennsylvania. Like you would walk outside and it's taller than you.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Oh,
it was
that's
crazy.
That is super cool.
So but yeah, that's what I did. I knew that real estate was something that I wanted to stay in for the long haul.
Sure.
And it was going to allow me to, gain some kind of financial freedom.
How did you get introduced to real estate in the first place? Family member, friend?
So it's very interesting. So my wife's cousin, her wife was a real estate agent, one of the top agents in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area.
Okay.
And she was a killer. Like she like you remind me like a young version of her. Like she would go on vacation and she was making phone calls and she
Just
like
grinding it out.
all the time. We'd be on the plane. She's like right until
the phone.
right until takeoff. Like she was on the phone.
Yeah.
And then so she kind of introduced me to like the real estate world, and I was like, man, this is really cool. And like you set your own schedule, and you're your own boss. And
It's limitless.
Yeah.
Like
there's
no cap.
there's
on-
no
yeah.
cap on
Yeah.
potential. So she introduced me to real estate, and then we bought our house. Me and my wife bought our house in 2021, and 3% interest rate.
Hey.
There
you go.
Lucky.
And so we bought our house, and the real estate agent that we were using at the time, she reminded me of, her name is Jera from Tulsa. And so I was like, man, like I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so that she inspired me like locally to join.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been hooked ever since. It's just that I needed to find a niche.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
You found it.
I think I
For
did.
sure.
Yeah.
So how did your first year go for you?
So my first year I sold 11 homes, around $3 million worth
That's
of
phenomenal.
year
Year one?
Year one. And so, but it took a lot. I mean, like, as you guys know, like it takes a lot of grinding
It
to
does.
get that.
Yeah.
And, you guys have both, I mean, you definitely killed it last year. So like, I,
After that credit card statement.
Oh my gosh. I showed him my credit card statement. He was like,
Oh.
Lord.
I was like jaw dropped.
yeah,
Oh my god.
I have a spending problem, but that's another topic.
Another episode.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, is it really a spending problem if you can support it?
Yeah. It's a lot of I've been learning to leverage.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I did 11 in my first year, 3 million worth of homes, and I loved it. It was great, but I knew I needed some kind of stability.
Sure.
Especially because my wife is very like, it's hard for her because she's a principal at an elementary school. And so
Okay.
she's been an education all her life. She's received a paycheck every 2 weeks.
So she's very used to like the traditional way of
Yeah. So when I told her I wanted to be a real estate agent in the beginning,
Freaked her out.
it did freak her out. And so we had to have some, difficult conversations, and, I had to convince her that this was the right move for me.
Yeah.
And she's not sorry that
How
we
long
made
did that
this move.
take?
How long?
Any, like conversation
To convince her.
Yeah.
I think it took her probably about like 4 conversations.
Yeah.
The first conversation she kind of like brushed off, and like it was like a
It's like, yeah, he'll get over it next week.
exactly,
Just like-
so and I've always had like the entrepreneurial spirit because like I tried to do like an eBay store one time, and this is all while with my wife, so this is why it's
So she's
She's seen you go in the
Yeah.
ups and downs of
yeah, I did
entrepreneurial.
day trading.
We
talked about that.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
And so day trading was amazing.
Touch on
Was it?
how much you Tell
I don't,
the
I don't know.
story.
I don't know if we want to talk about how
we don't
much.
wanna
Be how much, but like,
But we can say like it was a very significant number that I lost, and so
Oh,
that's what.
Yeah,
Yeah, in a matter of
it's bizarre.
seconds.
Scary.
Second.
Yeah.
Scary.
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So no more day trading.
No
for
more day
Kris.
trading. So
Wife shut that one down.
yeah. So
You need that sounding board though. That's
I
good.
do, and she is a great sounding board for me. But now she trusts the process.
Yeah.
And she's seen everything that we've built in the past year. So
That's good.
she's very supportive.
So you said you're looking for something a little bit more consistent. Obviously, as an agent, that's really hard to come by, right?
Mhm.
So what was kind of like your first steps behind your thought process of, okay, how do I make this more of a consistent income kind of business?
Yeah. So my all throughout me being an individual agent,
Yeah.
I had a TC the whole time.
Okay. Transaction coordinator.
Transaction
Yes.
coordinator. So the first one was Tammy Owens, who's my business partner.
Yeah.
And then she brought on another transaction coordinator, Mackenzie Irwin.
Okay.
And then Mackenzie took over. But I've always had a transaction coordinator, and they get business all year round. Now
There's
obviously
always deals happening.
exactly. Obviously you're the busier you are is during the summer months and spring, selling. In the wintertime, you're down to like maybe 6 transactions. But yeah, I knew that was more consistent as far as the income goes.
Sure.
And so
So you thought about being a transaction coordinator?
at the end of my was it first year, second year
Okay.
of doing real estate, I was like, I think I'm gonna need something else.
Yeah. It's like, how can I still be involved in real estate, but
Yep.
not rely on just the
Commissions, yeah. So what I did was I reached out to Tammy the beginning of last January, and I just said, "Hey, do you need some transaction coordination help?" And at the time, 2 of her TCs were actually leaving to go on to do other things. So one is going back to being an individual agent, and the other one was going on to a team.
It's funny you guys were like swapping roles right there.
Yeah. And so she was like, yeah, I could definitely use the help. And then since January of last year, the train hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So are you the one that came up with the company then? Precision
No.
Leverage Solutions?
So we both did.
You both.
We came up with that name. Precision TC Services LLC was Tammy's
First one.
was the
Yeah.
first one. And Tammy had been doing transaction coordinating for some years before, I met her.
Sure.
And she became my TC. But then, when we started talking early on, she had mentioned that she didn't want to be doing TC work for the rest of her life. And so she kind of was looking for someone to partner up with that can take her to the finish line, and then she can
Take
just
over
retire.
there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And like also when he says TC, like you guys are so much more than a TC. Like the conversations, the calls I would have with you, like Kris used to do my TC work until he transitioned into more of a management role. But I would call you at like 10 o'clock at night with a problem, and we would just talk it through. And on vacation, you would take care of things that were probably outside of your sphere of work, but you would do it. And same with Kaylin, my TC now, like they're amazing. Everyone is amazing, and you have the reviews to prove it. So
yeah, I mean, when you first came to KW, like
my mind was blown because I had a TC before, like on my team, but they literally just made sure all the paperwork was in line. And even if I was missing a signature or anything, like I would be the one to take care of that. You guys do it all.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
Yep. And I remember the first the first contracts that I ever received from you.
Oh God.
I called her.
There was a mess.
I called her at like it was like
You got me right.
it was like 9:30 at night, and she sent me, I think there was 3 contracts, 2 or 3 contracts, and she was like, Kris, I'm under, she sent me an email, said, Kris, I'm under contract. Can you look at these transactions for me? So I looked at it, and on one of the pages on the contract, it says that the seller
Oh my God. The
is
box, the little box.
is seller is liquidated to only the damages of the deposit. So they can't go for the full purchase price of the the contract,
And I didn't.
and she didn't mark the boxes.
Big up.
And so I called her at like 9:00 at night. I was like,
We
"Hey,"
fixed it.
I said, "I need to get this done ASAP."
Yeah.
And that was like the start of
Good thing you found that.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
That would have been a big deal.
So, but I feel like that was like the me and Maddie had like a roller coaster of transactions after that.
Yeah. I mean, I came to KW and I had like 4 or 5 under contract, and I like was going crazy because I didn't have a TC anymore. So you helped a lot.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And she gave me a lot of experience because
A lot of crazy situations.
you did have a lot of crazy
I have bad
situations.
luck, I guess.
I don't think it's bad luck. I think it's if you look at it in a positive, it's
good learning experience.
good learning experiences.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
For sure.
but
So from there, I mean, you took kind of just transaction coordination business and really branched it out to so many other sectors, right?
Yep.
So what all does precision leverage solutions include?
So the first service that we brought on board was listing management. It's an easy segue from transaction coordination. We handle the listing for you. We put it up.
Yeah.
And then we go right into the TC work right after it goes under contract.
Okay.
So that was a really easy service to prop up and get that rolling. The next one that a lot of agents were like asking for was a solid marketing company.
Sure.
To do like handle their social media, their email. They wanted touch points, and so we decided that we would move that to a different service rather than marketing.
Adding it on. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So for our marketing services, we handle all the social media, we handle the emails. And one of the packages that we offer a mini event that we coordinate and schedule.
Sure.
And we try to even get sponsors so the agent doesn't have to pay for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
So we developed that. It took us about 6 months to get it structured, up and running.
Sure.
And then we started testing it in January, and now it's full-fledged. So we have a marketing coordinator that handles all of the marketing services.
Yep.
She's got a graphic design background, and she's also had a few instances where she was the marketing coordinator for places that she was working at. So,
Sure. So I've been asked a couple of times because we've been doing some behind the scenes talking, interviews, kind of stuff like that, right? Which I'm not going to expose to the world yet, but something I'm really excited for, truly. And every time I try to explain it to somebody, just like my family members, right? For instance, the easiest way I've figured I can put it is this company is basically a sub company, like inside of this KW branch, right?
Mhm.
And all they do is they take all of the realtors' jobs, they hire out for those specific jobs for all these realtors, which then they can subscribe to have these services done for them,
Mhm.
right? So it's pretty much just taking all of the back end work of a real estate agent and having them just pay like a monthly subscription to have that taken care of for them, where all they're doing is going on appointments, negotiating
What
the
they like
deals.
to do, what they're good at.
Yeah, exactly. Because whenever like a real estate agent is thinking about getting into real estate, they don't think about all that back end stuff from transaction coordination. They might think about marketing and social media a little bit because, that's how you got to get yourself out there. But as far as like cold calling and follow-ups and keeping track of your CRM and,
Mhm.
all those touch points, everything like that, like that's the work that I feel like is just really behind the scenes. It's not
Mhm.
talked about that much, right?
Yeah.
And it's so important. It's what makes your business work. And
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you're not handling all of that, then there's no way that you're going to be able to do the little part that you enjoy doing and actually making any money off
Yeah.
of it.
A lot of agents are extroverts, and you don't know many extroverts that are very analytical and love to sit in a database all day and manage. Yeah. Some do. Some are great at it, but most are.
Or love contracts. I love
Yeah.
documentation. It's
Which
great.
is crazy.
It is crazy. I know.
Like, I like negotiating. I love going on appointments. I love making connections, networking, but
Hmm.
the
mean-
nitty gritty,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I do. I think that's the one thing I do miss is negotiations.
Yeah.
Because that's.
Oh, it's fun.
I should have been a lawyer.
Literally. Oh my gosh. So what would you say is like the right time in an agent's business where they need to hire you or some sort of leverage company?
So I would say, depending on which service they're looking into, some immediately and some once they have a full-fledged workflow income coming in and things like that, because some of our services can get expensive.
Sure.
But TC work, I recommend
Immediate.
immediately. Like as soon
I agree.
as soon as you
'Cause
get
even
into
if
the
you-
brokerage.
Right, because even if you do feel confident in like what you're doing as far as the contracts goes, it's still good to have somebody double check.
Second
those.
set of eyes,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
that freaking checkbox.
Yep.
So important.
And it's we literally do it every single day.
Yeah.
And so, we know exactly where to look. We know exactly
Like what mistakes to look out for.
always. Like I can tell you the most frequent one is if they're doing mortgage financing, the mortgage commitment date is always missing.
Oh,
Always. Because it's the space is
Oh, that's crazy.
it's real small, so you kind of miss it.
yeah.
So that's like
I bet
I
I've
don't.
missed that before.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta take that up with NAR. Be like, we need more space for this line.
Well, yeah, it's interesting you say that because I think there was a panel not that long ago where they were talking about changing the financing
Oh, okay.
section to add cash because there was some confusion
Oh,
on because there's waived or they're elected financing.
And then some people try and write cash in the elected section. I've seen it
Yeah,
before.
or like they'll put waive, but they still try to get a mortgage. And what some sellers or listing agents they get upset about is that why are you getting a mortgage? Why
You wait.
are we getting an appraisal and things like that? And the thing is that it doesn't say that you can't get a mortgage. It just says that it's not contingent. So
Yep.
if that mortgage were to fall through, they still have to
they're
pay
still
you.
viable.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Or their EMD's on the hook. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and we've had a lot of clients do that before where they've got $900,000 in the bank. The house that they're purchasing is $600,000.
It's an easy way to beat out all the other offers.
Exactly. And then they can still get the mortgage because they know they're well qualified for the loan.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
And you guys also write offers too. I've been in a pinch before. I was driving back from Lancaster after showing a house. I called my TC that works for you. And there was an offer deadline in 30 minutes.
Yep.
And she got it written beautifully, all the terms, talked to my client, and sent it to the listing agent
That's
in like 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yep. So we offer that, and then we also offer settlement attendance. So there's times if the agent, settlement, let's say they were prepared for settlement at first, and then it had to be pushed back, but now they're going to Jamaica maybe.
sure.
And so they can't make the settlement, and so we offer services to attend settlement because who better to attend settlement for you than
Than
the
someone
TC
who's
who's
had
working
the-
the file.
Right. Exactly.
So
Okay. And do you think that it's important for let's say an agent who's getting started, and do you think it's important for them to understand all these roles before they hire out to you guys? Or do you think that they can just go straight from getting their license to paying for these services from you?
yeah, so what we do at like KW, for example, we have productivity coaching
Yeah.
for new agents, new to business. What that does is they use us immediately for all of the transactions because it just comes out when they get paid at commission,
Okay.
when at settlement.
Gotcha.
And so what we do with those PC agents is we're coaching them along the way. Like, I remember when I got my first mobile home transaction when I was an individual agent,
Yeah.
and I was just going to use our in-house title company. And Tammy was like, hey, so you may not want to do that because it's a mobile home. So you have to deal with PennDOT and you have to deal with the settlement.
Right.
And so
A lot of title companies won't even touch that.
exactly. So she recommended a law firm. And so for all my mobile homes that I was doing after that,
Just take it to them.
I've been using them. So
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Do you have any?
So for me, it was a hard mindset shift to start leveraging outside of TC work, like even just for marketing, and in the future, maybe database management. It's hard for me to justify paying for that, but I read a book, Buy Back Your Time. I don't know if you've
Yep.
read it. Phenomenal. And it taught me that the only way for me to grow my business to the places that I want it to go is to start leveraging. So is there any advice you would have for agents who are hesitant about beginning to leverage things like their marketing?
Yeah. So, marketing sometimes can be a little difficult to swallow as far as what you're paying for and what you're getting back in return, because while we can provide, analytics to you and show you like how many likes, how many, views, how many touch points, emails, how many people, your open rate and things like that.
Sure.
You're still, sometimes maybe you're not seeing the conversion from that to, leads or new clients or things like that. And so that can be sometimes a hesitation for agents. But what we tell them is that marketing takes time. A solid marketing campaign is not going to happen, over 30 days or
If it's
60
months.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, six months is like our minimum, because we want to be able to show you that it's moving in a direction that you want it to move into. You want to be able to see, one, consistency of your brand. You want to see, DMs from people that,
Yeah.
hey, I saw this. I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to pull the trigger yet, but can you walk me through the process? But that's why we are adding database management, because database management will take the empirical like marketing, and then it'll be analytical after that, because we're touch points every single day. We're nurturing your database. We are making sure that clients that you haven't talked to in 12 plus months, we try and
Nothing
reactivate.
falls through the cracks.
Exactly. And so once your database is in order, we view it as a company that the agent will have paid for ourselves,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah. They should have a higher success rate after you go through and handle all those for them.
Exactly. And so that's why we think the marketing and the database married together is going to be like a game changer.
Yeah.
Also
Agreed.
because we're the only company in the state of Pennsylvania that offers all 4 services.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to get into that, right? So
Okay.
when you came up with this idea to create this sub company, did you have to pitch it to KW branch manager, Matt, anything?
No, so we Matt kind of had an idea of how he was looking for something within the office itself to do the same kind of services that we're doing now. The hard part is that if you don't have someone that's truly dedicated day in and day out to those services, it's going to be hard.
Right.
So I think in the past that the office had used agents and different parts. So this agent would handle mailers, and this agent would handle emails, and
Sure.
and it just didn't really
But
work
the
out.
amount
Like
of time it takes to communicate with each different group
Mhm.
is just
Exactly. And so that's why when we talked about this idea in the beginning of spring of last year, we said it's not a problem, we can make that happen, because we're going to be dedicated to it every day. So
Sure.
so that's why we didn't really need to
It wasn't like a sales pitch to them.
no, it was more of
Your agents need this.
yeah, and I can make it happen.
Yeah.
So
I don't see why you would say no to that.
no.
Do you
And
feel- oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, do you have any other plans in the future for adding additional services to this?
Yeah, so right now, basically, so we have listing management, we have transaction coordination, marketing, and then we're starting database management soon. We have settlement attendance and offer writing. The next one that we feel fits in with our genre of services is mobile notary. And it's not really to replace your title company during a transaction.
Sure.
It's just that we have found that
Out of
those last minute random
exactly,
documents that
yeah,
need done now.
and maybe the title company can't get it done,
Yeah.
or you some notaries, they don't work past a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you called me at 9-10 o'clock at night, and I'm there. Well, I was there for you for transaction coordination.
But we don't have a notary.
We don't have a
available.
notary. Let's just say that we needed something that needed to be at the title office the next morning, and for some reason the client doesn't get in until 8 o'clock at night because they just
Yeah.
came in from a business trip or something.
Yeah, it could be anything.
It could be anything. So we want to be able to provide that flexibility.
I feel like it'd be pretty easy to kind of grow that business as well, just
Yeah.
from all the agents who are already utilizing your other sub companies, right? I mean, why wouldn't they just go with your mobile notary versus somebody else?
Yeah.
Sure, the pricing is probably gonna be very comparable.
It's just the
Yeah.
convenience.
It's
Convenience
about
of
the
having
convenience.
everything in house.
Yeah. So, and you guys already call us and
We
talk
already
to her.
trust you. We already know your work ethic.
Exactly. So it, instead of you having to go to Google and find a mobile notary, you can just say, hey, Kris, can you get this signed for us, and get it done.
Yeah.
Do you know of other brokerages that offer services like this, and are they comparable to what you offer?
Yeah. So, we'll just stay in the central PA area. So we are Keller Williams exclusive.
Right.
We chose to do that for a number of reasons. One, because of our E&O insurance. It's I can't beat that. But two, to make it easier for our contractors.
Yeah.
So about all of our CRM systems, all of our processes and things like that. And we can build a relationship with each KW brokerage, and then they can use us as leverage. So
Okay.
that's kind of what we've done with KW of Central PA, is that, they can offer our services, to agents that, on board with us.
Sure.
And they, this is good.
If an agent from a different brokerage wanted to use your services, is that something they could do or no?
So unfortunately, we would turn them away if they wanted to use our services, just because we're KW exclusive.
Specifically,
Yeah. So we want to be able to be a recruiting tool for each KW office.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, we come in, we're your preferred leverage company.
Make it look way more appealing to them.
Exactly. They've probably dealt with us on the other side of the table, and they know how well we work. And so therefore they're like, I want to be a part of that process. I want to use that company.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of those people so far. It's not a lot, but it's
Starting to grow.
it's starting to get some traction.
Sure.
And so, yeah, we want each KW office to be able to use us as leverage, and it's a win-win because they bring in, top producers, high earning agents and teams, and we're gaining the business of those people coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Have you branched it out, like pitched the idea to other branch managers of different KWs throughout PA?
So,
Or you kind of wait until it's all like foundation's been built?
So I tested the waters, I would say this fall and summer.
Sure.
There's interest in it, but at the time we were just solely a TC company, and other KWs are around Central PA. They already have an in-house TC. So we needed to be able to differentiate ourselves and to show that, I'm not just a TC company. I come in and I help your agents scale their business. So we tried to reach out before. We were kind of shut down just because they were like, "Hey, we already have
that
service." And I understand that because when
It's like, why trade off our services for a third party service when
exactly
we do the exact same thing?
Exactly. And if I would kind of be disheartened if our office were to hey, let's bring in another TC company, to
exactly.
Not that I don't welcome competition, because I do. I'm very competitive by nature, but yeah, no, I could see where that would, they would have their loyalties, especially
right.
if
But
they
now
built a
you're so much
relationship.
more than that.
Yeah.
Now you have more value to provide.
So yeah, once we see database really, starting to hum, then we're more than likely going to start, branching out. The goal is to be in every KW office in Pennsylvania at the end of 5 years.
That's so awesome.
It's like cool to have.
Yeah.
Do you
So
know how many KW offices are in PA?
not off the top of my head, but I have
no clue either.
I have reached out to almost every single office in Pennsylvania just to let them know.
Like, hey, this is
What's
coming.
coming.
Just be ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been Googling for some sort of database management. I tried to use VAs. I tried to use Fiverr. I tried a million different things, and I was never happy. I was like, I can do this better.
Yeah. Well,
So,
wait till you see who we got doing database for us.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't wait.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. So, I think we hired really well, and I
You
think
hire so well. All of your
I
people,
try.
I love.
we
they're
do
amazing.
we did make a couple of mistakes in the past, and we rectify that really quickly. The saying is, hire slowly, fire fast.
Yeah.
And once you realize that it's not going to be a fit, you do have to let go.
How many people do you have currently on your team?
So with our new database coordinator, it'll be a team of 7.
Okay.
And it started last January, a
So
team of
awesome.
2.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, you're growing fast.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm training a new TC tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then once you have a mobile notary, that'll add a couple of people as well.
Well, what we hope to do is just the TCs just get
Get their notary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tammy, do you have your notary? Because I know Tammy does.
Oh,
Right.
we don't have our notary yet. We're not there yet.
Oh, I thought she did.
No, I thought she did too, but she doesn't.
Oh.
So, but we're all, the goal is that all of the TCs, and most of the people in the company
Yeah.
have a notary. So,
And
Gotcha.
a part of your value proposition, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is that all of your people are licensed.
yes.
Yeah.
So the only person in our, company is not licensed is Michelle, our marketing coordinator,
Yeah.
because she doesn't need to be licensed.
Okay.
But
all the TCs are
all the
licensed, which
TCs are
is really cool.
licensed. Our database coordinator is going to be licensed.
Yeah.
Because we want to be able to provide that extra level of, security, like
Yeah, so knowing
a
this
safety
person
net.
knows what he's actually doing.
Yeah. So, I don't want to go somewhere because there are unlicensed TCs, but they have to be directed by an agent to tell them what to do, when to do it. And
Yeah.
I know a few unlicensed TCs and they're really good at what they do. It's just that, I don't see leverage in you having to tell me what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
Where you can
Versus
just do it yourself.
I can just do it myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't make
And
sense.
then having you as a sounding board, like you are a licensed realtor, you did sell real estate. Like I could call you and ask your opinion on something. It's
Yeah.
huge for a solo agent who doesn't have a team to back them
Yeah.
and bounce ideas off of. So
Yeah, and Tammy, she was in charge of the real estate school. She ran the real estate school for, I think, over 20, 25 years. So until it went out of business.
locally,
Yeah, locally. There was
Long time.
a real estate
Oh, I
school.
didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So yeah, she ran that for a long time. She's been licensed since 94.
dang.
Gotcha. So I mean, you're running this entire operation. Are you still selling houses as well?
No, I have no time for that.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
No,
Yeah.
no. So when I was TCing, I was like, like I can sell a house or two here and there to make a quick buck. And I was like, man, there's just no way. Because,
Yeah.
our TCs, especially when it starts to get busy, I mean, we're handling 40 to 50 transactions any given month.
Wow. That's a lot.
As a group
No,
or
individual.
individually.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, so that's how I know when I need to hire someone else is when we start getting volume to the point where
Yeah.
the latest TC is now getting to about 40 transactions consistently. And then I got to hire someone new. So,
All right. What are some of your personal goals for this year?
personal goals.
Yeah, like outside of everything else you're already doing. Yeah.
Well, I need a new truck. So,
That's exciting.
so that would be like a personal goal of mine.
Touche.
Probably work on my health a little bit. I've kind of put that by the wayside because I've been bootstrapping the business now for over a year.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of eat, sleep, and work
That's about it.
and then go and do it
Yep,
again. And then
yep.
sometimes when I can't sleep, I'm working at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning because I have
You
this
have a great
i-
idea.
exactly, and I don't want to lose that
Just like
idea.
that.
I have a
So
notebook on my nightstand.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, I'm always.
yeah, so I would say for me the priority is my health, but another personal goal of mine is to upgrade my truck.
There you go.
Good
So-
goals. One last question for you, Kris.
All right.
Are there any conflicts of interest, do you think, if you're TCing both sides of a deal?
So, in theory, there might be.
You did this for me once.
I did.
actually. Yes.
In theory, there might be. But in actuality, for us as a company, there's not. We've had a few times where Tammy's represented an agent and I've represented an agent, and we've gone back and forth and
Oh, yeah.
friendly banter and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
give me my paperwork, or where's
I almost feel like the deal will go more smoothly
Mhm.
when you guys are managing both sides.
because we have control over the entire transaction. And so,
Yeah.
and there have been times where me as the TC, I've worked both sides.
Okay.
And I let both sides know, either both the agents and the clients, but like sometimes like I had one with Maddie,
Yeah.
where she represented both sides. And so I represented both sides because I was Maddie's TC.
Sure.
And so I just let both of them know, like, hey, like this is going on. I have no fiduciary duty to either one of you. So like, I'm not gonna share information from his side, to you, or from your side to him.
Yeah.
And when we're, two TCs are working on one deal, we keep the confidentiality there as well. So just because, Tammy is my business partner and she's representing an agent doesn't mean that like at the time, like I would be representing Maddie.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to tell you what
you're thinking.
Negotiate.
yeah,
Kind of terms
because,
you're about to lay out.
me and Maddie are having a conversation over here and we're like, hey, listen, like I think this would be good leverage to use in negotiations, this, that, and the other. And, Tammy's over there like, oh, what are you guys talking about? And I'm like, no, we're not talking about
None of your
anything."
business.
Yeah. And then, but she's doing the same thing over there with
Right,
her
of
agent.
course.
And so yes, in theory, there,
There could be issues.
there could be issues,
Yeah.
but for us as a business, our practice is that it doesn't make
It's
it
just
an issue.
professional.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
keeping it professional.
All right, awesome. Do you have anything else you want to shout out before?
Um,
If you're a KW agent,
Seriously.
yeah.
check them out. PLS.
Yeah. Links in the comments.
Links in
Yeah.
there.
I am telling you, the way you make every agent feel like they're your only client. The fact that 40 a month is what you manage. And she still, my TC responds to all my texts so fast, all my calls at 9 p.m. She is the best. And yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, and we have we're getting close to that 100 number right now.
Wow.
100 clients. So, it's
Awesome.
growing and I feel like it grows by the week now because we're starting to get more agents in our office.
Yeah.
And
You guys are growing fast.
yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
Yeah. And I feel like, just KW as a whole, it's like, I feel like a lot of even agents from other brokerages are starting to,
Yeah. Starting to see the value.
navigate over to you guys just because it's more family oriented.
love it.
And kind of like
I
you
love
said, like it's very personalized.
Such a
right?
good community.
Yeah, for me, it's a culture fit. So I'm not one to trust very quickly, just because of life circumstances and how I was raised and stuff.
Sure.
And so it took me a while to get where I'm at right now, where I'm sitting in your podcast, networking with you, and being able to go to like team meetings or to networking events that
Yeah.
which was amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
But yeah, that didn't happen overnight, and so
Something you had to work on.
yeah, and so but it's also because of the culture of KW that allowed me to let down my guard a little bit.
It's a holistic growth culture. It's not just about selling real estate.
Yeah,
That's
because
phenomenal.
Personal growth.
Yeah.
we literally sometimes we come in the office and we talk about zero real estate.
Yep.
Either about family,
Giants.
so shots fired. So no, I mean just anything. We're not. I know leadership's family circumstances and their significant others, and it's not like an ivory tower at our place where they're looking down on all of us peasant agents.
Yeah.
They're very collaborative. They're always looking to help you grow as a company or as an agent, your business.
You knock on anyone's door, they're willing to share their secrets, their real estate secrets with you and help however they can.
Yeah, because
love it.
ultimately at the end of the day is like, if you ask them about their secrets, you have to go out and execute it.
Yeah.
So it's not really,
They could tell you.
Yeah.
Whether you take action on it or not, that's
Yeah.
on you.
Exactly. And so, not a lot of people, do, especially like new to business, it's like overwhelming for them, or
It's a lot.
people who have full-time jobs and this is a part-time job for them, it's a lot. One thing I learned is that if you're going to do real estate and you really want to do real estate, it needs to be a full-time job, and you can't do a part-time, because if you don't jump in with both feet, you're not going to be as successful as you think you're going to be.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks.
You had some great
So
knowledge for
good.
everybody. And yeah, like I said, all that information is going to be linked in bio along with
Yes.
Kris's social media.
Thanks.
So
Give them a
feel free to
follow.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Give them a follow.
All right.
All right. And we will catch you guys on the next one.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.